Have you heard from this story for the client from hell? Have you heard stories about I wish I never took this person to be a client, or you wish that all the work I'm doing is not worth it? That happened to me, and this is my story of how I dealt with a client from hell. So strap right in, and I'll tell you my experience that happened to me, and hopefully you get to learn from it and avoid the same mistakes that I did. So a couple of years back, what happened was there was a client who came to my business. This happened through, I'm not sure whether it was through social media or a website, but we were here. So at that point in time, I was eager to please, was very excited. I'm trying to make a name for the business. At the time, we were a small agency, we had like 2 or 3 employees, and we're trying to nug it out of the park. So that's all well and good. So now what happened is, to my surprise and to my chagrin, is things went south really, really quickly. To think big, like they say you quote low at the beginning. Then once you're more established, you can quote higher with more examples, and when you add it onto your portfolio, or you've done like when you have a body of work to work with, so you can go back to the market and go like, yes, we know what we're doing. This is the returns we're given. So yeah, so that's the beginning of the story. So now let's start with the budget. The budget was severely, severely restricted. You are not able to do much with that budget. The budget was so little, and with the amount of time that was required to do the work, no, it was very, very frustrating. So I had mentioned this to him earlier. I said we can try to do or try to work with what you have, but it's tight. So the guy thought, well, I was trying to take advantage of him, or we were trying to take advantage of him. They're like, he says like, I know I can get this done cheaply in India and faster than you. I'm just giving you the chance. So now it flipped from being partners then to him doing us a favor, which initially I wasn't okay with it. Excuse me, I wasn't okay with it, but it honestly did rub me the wrong way. Like, you're not doing me a favor. We're working together to get you business. It's a business relationship. So it's like, no, that was the first problem. Then the next problem was the expectations that were set. He wanted A, B, C, D done, which I'm fine with, and I knew in every business you have to exceed and do way more with in terms of expectations. You have to do way more than they expect to, make them feel like getting more than what they paid for. If you feel to make them feel they're getting more value. Nah, not this guy. This guy was so stingy. And he wanted the moon. He wanted the moon, the stars. With best thing I just read in a few minutes was he wanted champagne on a hot water bottle on a hot water budget. So that it was impossible. You couldn't achieve what he wanted, especially with the time frame that he needed and the amount of work that he expected. Another thing that made it really, really difficult to work with him was he was a micromanager. I don't know. I think he felt more entitled to our time and to our resources. So he would ask for daily reports, which he didn't need daily reports because some things take a while. Let's say web development. You set expectations. You're gonna do this, and this, and this. Like, it might take 2 days, might take 3 days, might take a week to come up with the website. But he wants all like daily requirements. So where we like, there's no new update. Just wait for a moment, and then you get the website. Wait for like a few days. We're still with our timelines. We're still within our time periods. So just calm down a bit. Or he didn't like me to calm down. I said like just wait. As per our agreed communication, or as per our agreed the last time we spoke, we're still on track. So everything's going on. But he didn't want that. And then also when we started doing running the ads campaigns on Meta, Google, and Google, he wanted to know everything. He wanted to know like when the ad being launched, I told him the ads are being launched this morning. Cool. Then after half an hour, are the ads have they been launched? Like, no, not yet. Or yes, they are, but we need time for them to be approved by Google or Meta Properties because there's a time lag for ads to be approved. So he didn't know that, but he thought he knew that. He thought as soon as you paid money, boom, the ads are live, which is very false and very unfair at the same time. So then once the ads were approved, they start running slowly. The algorithm takes its time on both Meta on Google to be established, to know what you're looking for, to get with the right client. There's a lot of testing and stuff. So you're not getting results immediately. Boom, another problem. Like, oh my goodness, now what? So as we were forced to go ask support to just check the campaigns, check the settings to make sure that there's nothing I've done wrong, nothing I'm missing, any of the silly mistakes that most people do. The support team on both platforms, Meta and Google, are like, no, dude, you're fine. So there's no issue with that. So like, no, you have to be patient. He didn't want to be patient. That was another problem. And then when we came to another issue which I found to be extremely, extremely annoying, extremely irritating, was when you're coming up with ad copies, he'd want to write the ad in a certain way, which is all good. It's his business, he knows what he wants. But there's some things he would do wrong. Then I would try to correct him and go like, this is not right. You have to write things in a certain kind of way for it to make sense. You have to use catchy hooks. You have to use features more than benefits. You have to use this psychological, tools to make the ads more attractive. The guy's like, no, I'll do things my way. Like, oh my goodness, okay, fine, you do it your way. But when it fails, we'll have to come back and redo the work. Like, no, do it my way. And it failed, like we expected it to fail. Then now he flipped it up and blamed us, like, no, why is this thing not working? You guys are not experts, you guys don't know what you're doing. And like, no, we advised you earlier, but let's try something different with what we suggested earlier. So we changed things, they started working. Then there was no praise to say that things were working, we were just quick to complain. Another thing that was an issue was designs. Like the images, the posters, how they're meant to come out. He would want too many revisions. And then the problem was he did not know what he wanted. He knew what he didn't want, which is fine, but he didn't have an idea of what he wanted, or he couldn't communicate with us like clearly, like, what do you want? He just said it's bad. Fine, that's bad. Give us an example of a direction you want to go to, or give us an example of something that you want. Like, he sends us one or two things, and we try to model, fashion, or improve from what he has sent us. But no, that's a problem. There's also an issue with the web design. So we came up with a mock-up for him to approve. He looks at it like, no. Like, fine. So we changed it again. Like, no. Then third time, like, give us something to work with, something that you like, something you'd hope your website to be like. Nothing. So it was a way long delayed progress to see how things were done. So I also spoke about the timelines. You wanted things to be done faster, quicker, which is almost impossible. There's some things that, whether you like it or not, they take time. The algorithm has to learn your business. The systems have to change. You have to wait on the market. There's so much things that take time to do. With digital marketing, you hasten the process, but stuff takes time. Like when you're talking about marketing, think about the AIDA model: awareness, interest, desire, action. You still have to follow all that. Anybody tries to skip that stage, you'll just end up wasting money. So he was always in a hurry and wanted quick results, and that honestly was not part of what we agreed on. And then came the breaking point where it was like, okay, now this is ridiculous. Now we can't work like this anymore. So I wrote him an email. I described the situation where we are. I described the challenges or the frustrations that we're having with him, and then I scheduled a call. I told him, like, me and my team are not having an easy conversation, or things are not working well for us. We have delivered on some items. We've delivered, like we agreed. Other items take time, like we also agreed, but you're not being fair or patient with us. Another thing was the endless revisions. So we can't do this. Our team is burnt out. We're spending so much of our resources on this. We're spending so much time. Like, one account we spend like what 10 to 15 hours a day, which turned out to be really ridiculous in a week for the amount of money we are making from this. It wasn't working. So after the email, we set up a call to have an open understanding. Then after the call, we're going to summarize what happened and send him the conversation. Right. So we thought it was very logical. We thought it was, cool, but it turned out to be a nightmare of a call. He accused us of being lazy. He accused us of being con men. He accused us of a lot of stuff. He accused us of regretting sending us part of the deposit. He accused us of mismanaging his funds. He even started threatening legal action to get back his money. I was like, what, where, how? Like, yeah, as in the next communication we should expect is from his lawyer. I was like, oh my god, like, okay, fine. We look forward to corresponding with the lawyer, and if you feel like the court is a way to go, we are cool. We'll present our case, and then also we shall counter sue, because we're not going to take it lying down, especially after what we said we do for you, and you started taking it for granted. Like, so he's upset. Like, you'll hear from us. Then a few minutes later, boom, we are shut out from all his accounts. We are kicked out of Meta. We were kicked out of Google Ads. We were kicked out of social medias, and then the logins and password were changed overnight. Like, okay, cool. That's good riddance. Right. So if you need to communicate with a lawyer, you're gonna send information to a lawyer. Like, easy. We also have a lawyer and staff, so we're fine. We'll deal with it the legal way. So I think when he spoke to his lawyer and stuff, I think the lawyer just advised him, like, just let it go, and because he never got in touch with us, so I don't know how it happened. But what was very interesting was no, I'll tell you this part of the story later. I'll finish this part of the story later. So now I'm going to tell you how to avoid clients like these. First thing to do is properly vet your clients. When they're vetting you to work with their business, vet them as well. Just try and find out about their temperaments, try and find out about how they handle difficulties, how they handle challenges. Also, ask them, why do they fire their previous digital marketer, or a digital marketing agency. That's to be a reason why they don't have one. Maybe it's a new company that they're going to launch, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But you'd find in most cases, these guys they've gone through a list or a number of agencies, and they've broken relationships, they've broken hearts, So you have to find out why they are where they are. Then number two, there are instances where you have a client who doesn't know what to expect or know what you're doing. So with these people, and if they are cool enough, I walk them through the process. I educate them through the journey. We work together and explain to them, because there are plenty of clients who want digital marketing services for A, B, or C. And for that to happen, I work with them. I explain to them, this is what you're going to do day one. This is the plan A, B, C, D. Then after giving them the plan A, B, C, D, I explain why A is being done, I explain why B is being done, I explain why C is being done. And then I'm always there in communication to help understand what's going on. And, so that there are no confusion, there's clarification, it's all open, no secret, and nothing is being hidden anywhere. And then number three, from my experience working with or avoiding very, very difficult clients, is coming up with solid contracts. The contracts that I had back then was just something I stole from the internet. Just helped me come up with a contract, and I'll change the names from the contract that I got from the internet to my name, then business licenses, all that stuff. But now I realized you need to get a proper contract. So we had a lawyer to help us write down what we need to write, what we do as a business. what we expect from you as a client and what you expect from us in terms of image use, in terms of scope of work, in terms of any legal or logistic thing, so that just in case you end up being in court, you have something to protect you or something you can work with, and then your lawyer would go like, yeah. Because when you had a chance, when you had a scare for not a scare, the threat of litigation, I was cool, I was calm, I knew I was right. But when I had to engage a lawyer to go through our contract, she told me like, by the way, if you had gone to court, this would have been a nightmare, but we would have made it work. So just tell me to write for you a proper contract. Like, oh, easy. Please do that for me and then I pay you for that stuff. And then also, another thing I learned from that experience is be okay to say no. When somebody wants something, like, no, I'm not gonna do that. If it's above and beyond the scope of work, so like, no, this is not what we agreed on. This is not fair on our side. It's good for you, which is cool, but it's not the best for our side of the story or our side of the camp, and we don't want it to be adversarial. Let's just work together, because I know you're trying to save money as a business and you don't want to spend extra, but at the same time, let's work comfortably together. And then also, another thing I realized, it's okay to work with people who don't have a budget. It's okay to work with companies that are small, and then when they grow, you grow with them to get to higher heights, because I've done that before with many businesses. But avoid cheaper clients with a plague. Avoid them, sorry, like the plague. Avoid cheaper clients tend to be more work, more stress, and you're like, oh my god, no, you're not worth my time. Avoid. Nothing good ever comes from that. But on the flip side, which might be opposite to what I just said, is yes, if there's a client you're willing to work with with a small budget and who is okay and who's not a problem, you can grow together, and that I am fine with. And oh, right, I did not forget this point. So, like I mentioned to you earlier, that the guy fired us, and sorry, they fired us, we fired them, like blah blah, whatever. I got to find out like a couple of months later. I got a call from a random call. So I pick it up, like, hey, how are you? I'm being told like, hey, are you this agency? Like, yeah, I am. Makuba Consulting Services. I'm like, yeah, I saw your work. I'm working with one of your past clients. Like, oh, okay, I was like interested. Like, which client? I'm like, I'm working for this exam prep client of yours, past client. Like, oh my god. It's like, okay, what? I was expecting the worst. Then the other agency just told me they just fired that guy because that guy was, oh my god, he was a nightmare to them, and and he's trying to look for ways to advise other people not to work with that client because that guy is a monster, as a nightmare. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. We'll get in touch with other stories later.